Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and notification bell if you're new here. If not, welcome back. I'm Danni, and today's video is going to be a Power Book 2 Ghost review. The episode was called Exceeding Expectations. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can get a notification every time I upload a video. And today is my birthday, so if you want to send me a Cash App, I'll put the Cash App on the screen, or if you want to send me a PayPal, that would be greatly appreciated as well if you want to. I'm going to leave the links down below in the description box as well. So now let's just get into the review. Now the episode starts with Tasha in jail. She like going back and forth, and she's like waiting for her lawyer to come in, but she saw the lady walk in. She's like, who are you? She was waiting for Davis to come in, and she was like, she was the prior investigator or whatever. So basically they're grilling Tasha, trying to find out why she's lying or who she protecting still, and everything the lady asking her, Tasha's like wiggling her way out of it. She's not directly answering the questions. So but the lady picked up on that, so which she would, since she's working on a baby, she's got to be pretty good. So Tasha ended up telling her, no, I'm not involved in this, no, I'm not the queen pin. And they was like, well, why your name's on a lot of documents? And she was like, well, I did open up some accounts, but it's not like I'm running things, which is technically true. If he so-called has like money and stuff like that, of course she's going to be on the accounts. And she was on the liquor license too, which is weird because he always talking about truth with his club. Now Tasha on the liquor license, that means she has some kind of ownership in it, because he just can't get a liquor license in somebody else's name. So I don't know, because she could fight for assets, especially since he didn't leave her anything. Since her name is on a lot of that stuff, she can actually fight for it. I wonder if she kind of knows that. But yeah, so that threw me off there, and I'm like, how is she not like part ownership if her name is on the liquor licenses? So you have to be in order to be on the liquor license. They just can't put like any old random person on there just to get the license. Okay, so we see Tariq in his dorm room. He's trying to get the money together. Well, of course it's not $450,000. That probably didn't even look like it was $10,000 the way he was counting it up. But so he ended up just stashing the money away and ended up running to class. For some reason, Tariq is still always running late to class. Ever since the first episode, the only time he gets to class is when he's running there. So he shows up late or whatever. The professor, the black man's name, Professor Reynolds, he giving Tariq a hard time. He asked him a question about the book. Now, Tariq was doing okay at first. And then Paige Hurd's character, I still don't know her name. I can't remember her name. She jumped in and asked him some kind of random-ass question. And, of course, he didn't know the answer to it. And then you're like, oh, you didn't read the book again? Basically throwing shade because on the first episode, he didn't read the book. Like, he read like half of the book. Then he ended up finished the whole thing at the end of the episode, but he didn't read the book the first time either. So ever since then, this guy been giving Tariq a hard time. I don't know why. Maybe Tariq is this privileged black kid. I don't know, but he's just been giving Tariq this hard time. And the girl ended up apologizing to Tariq about like putting him out like that. So Tariq said it was no problem. So he didn't really like fault her for it or anything. Cause how would she know that he didn't read the book? They haven't been talking like that. After class, Tariq like walking out, and his roommate, the white guy, his name Braden, I have it now. The one who used to be his roommate at when they was in high school or whatever, he saw Tariq. He's trying to get Tariq to come to this party, this frat party with his brother or whatever. And Tariq is like, no. And the guy was like, well, why you don't want to go? It's P-U-S-S-Y. And Tariq don't really care about Cootie Cat like that. So he was just like, man, whatever, I got something I got to do. And while he was talking to him, Stern ended up texting him. Stern really starting to get on my nerves. He was getting on my nerves the whole first season when he was on here trying to take James's club. So he meets up with Stern later, and Stern is trying to talk to Tariq because they want Tariq to basically get up there and like trash his dad to try to help his mom's case. That what Davis wants to do, to try to make Tasha look like human or whatever. So Stern gives him this pep talk and tells him like, well, if you trash him, all your father's assets and everything is going to go down, and basically you guys not going to like have any money to like live off of, which is kind of true. But you know, Stern is always think about the money. Stern don't care nothing about nobody else but himself. So basically Stern don't want him to trash Ghost, because if he trash Ghost, Stern going to lose some of his money in his investment too, because technically Stern is supposed to get the club back. I think that's the deal that Tasha like promised him, in order for him to like get Tariq in this school, in this accelerated program, so Tariq can get the money. There's just a whole bunch just like going on. But while Tariq is talking to Braden trying to get him to like sell pills again, telling him there's so much money to be made here. But the way Braden is pushing this, I'm thinking, is he a fed? Cause he like really pushing this thing, and Tariq was like, no, it ain't nothing to get back into. So Tariq is like really like trying to play it off or whatever. He's don't want him in his business, which is good on Tariq's part, cause Tariq don't know if this man like a fed, you know. Like he could be setting Tariq up. We don't know that. Like he acting all cool and stuff, but he could be. That's how like snitches are and like informers are. They like be your friend and stuff and always trying to push stuff. So Tariq don't know that. Tariq can't tell him to strip down and let me see if you got a wire on or something, because that would be very suspicious. So we see Monet, that's Mary J. Blige's name. I couldn't remember her name in the first episode. She's sleeping with this Puerto Rican cop. I'm assuming he's Puerto Rican. He's Hispanic as well. But it's the first cop that she got, that was in the first episode, that she got in her back pocket. He came to the house when the two kids got into it and she walked out to calm him down or whatever. So she like landed in bed with him. He really trying to put the Mac on her. She really not here for it, saying that Lorenzo's name keep her protected. So I'm assuming she's still married to him or whatever, and he really is deep in them streets like that. Because she like, Lorenzo's name keep her protected, and like she basically asked him, what you gonna do? You just a little police. That's basically like how she was talking to him. So I don't know, he's really like owning her like that. I guess she's just like Hispanics, but none of the kids, all the kids look just like regular black to me. So I don't know. But yeah, so she ended up kicking him out, saying that Kane was gonna be home soon. I guess Kane is the oldest son, because they never really like said the ages. But Kane mainly seems like he's the one that's doing all the work, all the heavy hitting and all that stuff, and all the killing and stuff. So I guess Kane runs stuff now. And then we have Saxe, John Mock, and the Democratic man. They still in here pressuring Saxe to try to get Tasha on this queen pin charge, and Saxe is still trying to plead his case that she's not the queen pin. But they telling him that he better like do something with this, because James stuff need to stay buried. It's going to embarrass like the campaign and all this stuff. I'm thinking, why is John Mock here? You went to like a whole new office. You didn't go to like the Democratic people. Like, what's your deal with this? So I don't get exactly why John Mock is like in this, because he ain't got nothing to do with the Democrat people. He quit because he was about to get fired, or did he get fired? I can't even remember, but he lost his job on some shady mess too, and then he promoted Saxe shady behind. So I don't know, this whole thing, and they was like, they need to have this buried. They need to frame Tasha, and Saxe not really comfortable getting Tasha killed over some mess that he knows she didn't do. He really is kind of like battling back and forth with this, but he really don't have a choice if he's trying to save his career. So basically, they're gonna try to give this, well, she's not really innocent, black woman Danita over some stuff that she didn't even do, just to save their jobs and just to save their reputations. And the Democratic man was like, give her Danita, I don't care. He really don't care. I'm like, this is really crazy. They really like this in politics, to keep all their secrets and stuff buried, child. And then Saxe called some man in his office. We never seen him before. And he's telling him how he want him to lead the queen pin case on Tasha. And the man's like, no. He don't like Saxe either. Nobody in their office likes Saxe. And Saxe was like, it's Davis that's running. When the man said Davis, so the man like prepped up, because he can't stand Davis, because apparently Davis on a previous case had him hemmed up on like a chain of custody thing with like some evidence or whatever, and I guess he had it out for Davis ever since. So when he mentioned Davis, he said, okay, but as long as you do everything by the book, because everybody know Saxe is like kind of dirty and do whatever he want to try to get an answer out of somebody, even if it's not even the correct answer or the right thing. He try to like do whatever he can in order to like get what he want, even if the evidence don't even match up, just to try to fill some story gap that he has. So the man ended up agreeing. So we'll see how that goes. But that man is still mad that he got Donovan killed, which it would, because Donovan used to be in Saxe's position. So basically, if you kind of think about it, Saxe could be set up to look like he got Donovan knocked off in order to take his position. Plus, he was at the thing with Ghost. So Saxe could be kind of like looking like dirty all the way in this, and they can get him from a lot of crimes if Davis don't find out about this. I don't know. That'll be interesting to see how this story goes. And then we get the professor lady, her name Carrie, and Reynolds. They're going back and forth. They're arguing over Tariq. He's telling her that Tariq still didn't read the book, and she's telling him that Tariq is under a lot of like pressure, whatever, because his father's funeral is tomorrow. She got that information from Zeke, because when Zeke, he would have turned in his report that Tariq had wrote, and Tariq told him to read the stuff because the lady gonna be asking questions. So she was asking him questions. Zeke didn't know the answer. He was just like, I don't know, just giving her frivolous answers to try to shut her up. He kind of was flirting with her and everything, and she wasn't really buying the bait. But you could tell that she knew that Tariq wrote that whole report and Zeke ain't had nothing to do with it. And then they say he's on academic probation, which I don't get. If he was an actual freshman, okay, so they say he's on academic probation. You can't get accepted to a school already on academic probation. The reason why I say it, I'm assuming he's a freshman too, because they're having a party for him. They wouldn't be having a party for him for getting into a school if he's like a sophomore or a junior or something. So I don't get it. I don't get like I don't know what class he's in. I don't know if he's a freshman or, because you can't be accepted in school like already on academic probation, whether you're an athlete or not. So I don't know what that part was kind of confusing to me. But and he was like, he don't really. She was asking how Tariq was doing. He was like, oh, I don't really talk to him like that. Like that's just something to say. Like, okay, whatever. So when he was getting ready to leave, she emailed Tariq. So when Tariq was talking to Stern, he got the email, but he didn't open it. I didn't see him open it. And then when he also was talking to Stern, Zeke had asked him, was he ready the day he was about to leave to go to the house, because previously Tariq had asked if he can go over to like the auntie house. He was like he was going to ask him. He was going to ask her, because Tariq said he wanted like some food or whatever. I think it just was a ploy just to get to the house. And you asked him about like if he wants some food. And Zeke was telling him, oh, you tired of the dining hall already? So he obviously he asked his auntie. Auntie said it was fine. So they was having dinner or whatever. Then their Uncle Frank come in, sounded like he was drunk or whatever, talking all crazy. Everybody's surprised. And then Monet asked him, like, what you doing now? You still had a few more years. He was like, I got out early. She was like, how? And he never answered. So he's just like going back and forth. But then he was sizing everybody up. Well, not really sizing, hi to everybody. Then he said hi to the niece, Diana. And he was like, you filled out. I'm like, that's like pedophile. Like, I hope you didn't touch this girl while she was like young or whatever. Because that's just like crazy. So, later on, Monet was talking to Diana, telling her, oh, he had asked her, he was talking about he needed some money and that Lorenzo owed him because he's like Monet's husband's brother. And she was like, well, he didn't tell me nothing about that. Like, what are you talking about? And then she was like, well, I know you got me, I know he got you running things now. So when he said that, she completely ended the dinner, I guess because Tariq is there. She don't want Tariq them in their business like that. And she told Zeke to go sleep on the couch because he's been drinking. Which I still don't know the time. Like, because if he's been drinking, she feeding him drinks and he's not 21 yet. That's illegal too. Then he's on academic probation. Then they throw him a welcome to college party. I don't know. But see, you see what I mean about I don't know what class he's in with the college thing. So she told Zeke to go get on the couch and go to sleep, and then she told her son Kane to go take Tariq home, quote unquote. I guess it was this cold because the other son was like, I'll take him. He was like, no, I want Kane to do it. So I guess she wanted Kane to scare Tariq. So they end up pulling over somewhere. He confronts Tariq, talking about what's happening in our house stays in our house. I guess he thought Tariq was gonna be scared, but Tariq, none of this stuff really fazed Tariq, which is kind of crazy. So Tariq ended up telling him, talking about, you need to be scared of your uncle because he's a snitch. And he walked up to Tariq talking about, what you said? Tariq said, you heard what I said. Ain't no way he gonna get out get out early, because they was like, he ain't do no good behavior. Ain't no way he gonna get out early without snitching on somebody, and then parole hearing take months. Y'all hear nothing about no parole hearing? It's a snitch. So when he said all that, the guy was surprised, and he like stepped back from Tariq, and Tariq was like, I don't want no problems with y'all, because if I have problems with y'all, there's gonna be problems with me. He was like, I need to keep Zeke in this school if I need to stay in this school. So the guy was just like, okay, whatever, because when they first got up, Tariq was like, man, because he was like, man, I don't know you. So, but he ended up like calming down, whatever, and I guess he took Tariq home, and he going back home. the mama and Diana was talking, and she was talking about something. You see how your uncle looking at you? That means you got power over him. And I'm like, this sounds very creepy. But he ended up coming home, and he heard them talking in the kitchen or whatever. And then she was like, yeah, what did Tariq say? And then he was like, Tariq said, both of them said at the same time that Uncle Frank is a snitch. And he was like, the kid is smart. Zeke said he was really smart. The kid is smart. So she ended up waking up Zeke to asking him, is Tariq asked to come over there? Did he invite him over there? He was like, he asked to come. So that's putting triggers in her head that, okay, so he really wanted to come over here trying to find out some stuff. So she's telling him that he need to be talking to Tariq to try to find out stuff about Tariq. And she told Kane, you know what you need to do. So we see Kane finding the uncle, I guess it's the next day or whatever, because it looked like it was light outside. So finding the uncle in like some bar or whatever, he ended up locking the door. I'm like, the uncle don't hear all this noise? You know, locking the door, then he pulled out the gun. I thought he was about to shoot him right there. But he hit him in the back of the head. And then he took him to some kill spot they got. And he shot him up. And then him and some other man, they cut him up and put him in barrels and all this. I was like, ooh, this is so gruesome. They put him in like some metal barrels or whatever. And then they pulled the barrels up out of the street, because it was like a sidewalk, and then like it opens up. It's kind of like some of those things you see like in the movies when people have like the fort things. I can't remember, what is it called, when it's built in the ground and you have little doors to try to block you from tornadoes. But it opened up like that from the street, and then they just put the barrels in the back of the truck in broad daylight. Like, I guess it was a cover, because I thought they had like trash trucks at first, but it was just like a little regular like work truck or whatever. In broad daylight, they put like him in the truck in pieces in each barrel or whatever in the back of the truck and drove off. like it was nothing. Like, so he dropped Tariq back off at school. So as Tariq walking like to his dorm or whatever, he see that they was having a visual for his dad. Like, as he got closer, he saw like the picture of his dad like on the little easel board, you know, the triangle thing that holds pictures, and he was like really shook about it. And then like his roommate Brandon was like, do you want to get out of here? Like, and Tariq was like, yeah, let's just go to your brother's party, because he was already wasn't feeling that visual anyways, because like all the people was videotaping and stuff. He was just like slapping people's phones and stuff. Like the roommate Brandon, the friend Brandon was slapping like people's stuff. Like, stop, man, like what are y'all doing? Like, because it seemed like a lot of them were doing it for attention. And then, like, when he saw the little teacher or whatever, and the man, he just, like, looked, like, kind of sad, like, and he, like, walked away. And she just really, like, looked like she was, I don't know, hurt. Or, like, not really hurt. What's the word I'm looking for? Like, felt bad that she did that without asking him, because he was kind of grieving. Because he did meet with her earlier in the episode to talk about what was going on. Because, like I said, the guy, Mr. Reynolds, he talked to her talking about Tariq wasn't reading the book and stuff still. And that's when she informed him that they had like the funeral was the next day, and he wasn't expressing his feelings. And he was like, a black man in America expressing his feelings, that's a no. And she was like, why black men can't express their feelings? So that's why she wanted to do that visual thing. So they go to like this frat party, whatever. And Braden's like brother is acting a fool. You know how drunk frat boys are. So he was over there acting a fool, acting all crazy. Everybody talking about Tariq famous because his mama killed his daddy and all kind of crap. You know how people do. They do that normally in their community. We don't be doing that. Like going out here just killing our parents. So that's why they think nothing of it. In their community, they do that a lot, especially the rich ones. So the police come, shut down the party. The brother still acting obnoxious and swing on the police, so they arrested him. And then Braden walked up and said, I'm Braden and this, I guess Travis, somebody, I can't remember his name. And their name, what? Witten or something like that. And they do like the gym and like the swimming pool. They're like, oh no, take him out of them cuffs. So he ended up getting out the cuffs. So I guess they name really do hold some weight at that school like that. So they ended up taking him out of the cuffs or whatever. He ended up going back inside the party. So I guess his brother used to say him saving him behind because he's always acting a fool or acting up. So that was that with that. And they end up going home and stuff after that. So and the next day, it's the funeral. So everybody out there, the grandma's like, Tariq, how you paying for all this when we barely scraping by? Tariq like, I'm not doing any of this. So as we look over, we see Tate. I'm like, what is he doing here? So obviously we know the Democratic people done paid for this. So we see Tate there, the Democratic man. Then they let Tasha come up. I'm like, in what world would the accused killer get to go to the funeral? That's what I didn't understand. And then she looked cute. She looked nice. Then they had to put her in like the handcuffs or whatever. I'm like, this lady really not gonna do anything. But you can never be too cautious with that. So Davis was there, and his investigator lady, I forgot, I don't know what her name is. I don't remember her name. So they at the funeral or whatever. Cause they wanted Tariq to speak. No, they wanted Tasha to speak, and then Saxe was there too, and the prosecutor man. So Saxe was there. He was like, "Oh, so you want Tasha to speak to damaged jury pool, try to get some sympathy and stuff like that." So I guess he figured out the game plan or whatever. So Tariq said he was going to speak, and both of them was looking at Tasha was looking at him like, okay. Stern was looking at him. Davis was looking at him. But before Tariq speak, Ghost's uncle, which is Tariq's great uncle, so Ghost's daddy's brother, was talking to Tariq, telling him that his dad wanted a better life with him, and his dad know that it was only two ways out, either dead or in jail with the street life, because his father had told him that. And then he gave Tariq like this pep talk. It was really nice. And then we seen a little pastor too. The pastor, he did good too, saying James came to him, wanted to be a better man. Now Ghost did do all of that, but he still was like an asshole behind the scene. So they weren't really lying. Ghost did have like two like parts to him. He had like this good guy image, and then he had like this stupid smug image that I couldn't stand. So they weren't lying. So when Tariq got up there and did his speech or whatever, he did like a nice speech. I'm not gonna lie, Tariq had me tearing up, especially with the kid who done killed his father, and his mother is going to jail for it, but he got to pretend everything's all right, and that his dad wasn't that bad. So the way his speech was like relayed, he wasn't really trashing his dad, and he wasn't really praising his dad either. He was just saying like how his dad was this mystery person that nobody could understand, and even though they couldn't understand it, him, they knew that he wanted better for his family. Like what Tariq was saying was kind of like in lawyer talk. Like they don't really like lie, but they tell you like this story to try to manipulate stuff to like make you understand. If I'm making any sense, I don't know if I'm making any sense, but Tariq didn't really lie, according to him, and he didn't really like fully like tell the truth either. Because all that stuff his dad did, he kept out like a lot of stuff to keep the image or whatever. So I praise Tariq for that, because he is what, 17 years old, 18 years old. So he handled himself up that well. Everybody seemed like they was proud of him. So we have David, Saxe, and the feds. They cross-examined like the prosecutor lady about her like role in this Saxe and bringing up this queen pen charge and stuff with the judge. They was in like this private chambers or whatever, and basically that lady threw Saxe under the bus like she didn't know anything about it. She was like, they kept pushing for her to get a deal for Tasha, they didn't tell her like exactly what they were going to do. They were just pushing for her to get a deal. But she was like, she realized Saxe done pushed for her to get that deal so they could blow the whole deal up to arrest her for that queen pen charge. And she was really mad about it. And I'm like, I'm shocked she even like revealed everything that like Saxton did, because they had asked her if Saxton asked about it, and she was like, she only told her boss. So I guess her boss was probably communicating with Saxton behind the scenes, and she didn't know anything about it. And this lady wasn't about to get up there and lie for no Saxe, especially when they already know that he's dirty. So well, she probably didn't know until after this Fed case thing came up how Saxe really is. But Saxe ended up, they asked if Saxe wanted to cross-examine, he said no. I'm sure you did say no. I'm like, and when he said no, I just burst out laughing. Then they called Blanca in there, and he was asking her about the James St. Patrick case and the ghost case, and she was answering yes and no question, but she was explaining, and he kept cutting her off, and she was really pissed. And then after after she got done asking her questions, Davis was like, well, I guess Miss Blanca has more to say. Then he was like, she can say it at trial, because now when they brought Blanca on, they gave them kind of like more evidence to like charge Tasha with this stuff. And then after everybody left out, Blanca told Davis, if this goes to trial, you make sure you call me because Saxe is dirty. And she was over it. And Davis was like, okay, we gonna call you. So now they really do know that Saxe them is playing these games like this. Like trying to like, they playing them games. Now Diana, she goes to like Tariq dorm or whatever. He was like, Zeke not here. She was like, I know, I just came to see you. And he was like, why? Did your mama send you over here? She was like, no. He was like, okay. And then she was like, I came over because you was my cousin. My brother Kane said you said my uncle was a snitch. And she was like, yeah. He was like, well, how you know that? He was like, because you can read people like a PDF. She was like, another college joke. To me, she looked like Tiana from Empire. What's her real? Soraya off of Empire. She, Diana looked like Tiana off of Empire. But yeah, so he was asking her, do you got a way to get in touch with your dad? And she was like, yeah, why? He was like, I need a favor from your dad. And she was like, what? And then he was like, her mama need a friend inside. So I guess they didn't show like the actual conversation of that going on. But later on in the episode, we see that they got the book and they got a phone to her and they got the morning after pill. Because Tasha overheard like one of the inmates arguing at the little security guard lady who's been on her behind. Tell her she needed a morning after pill. And the security guard lady was like, what you need a morning after pill for? You in prison. Who did you been riding? So I guess she's sleeping with one of the inmates and he done let off in her. So they got the pill. We didn't see Tasha get a lady the pill, but we saw Tasha call the phone. So I guess they got Tariq on her phone too, because the phone was like on his bed and stuff too. So I'm like, how the hell did this phone get on Tariq's bed? Tariq answered the phone. He's like, well, hello? Mom? I'm like, Tariq, why are you answering random phones? And he was like, Mom? And she was like, yes, Tariq. And she was asking him about Davis and the payment and all this stuff. So I don't know. But I guess Tasha about to have her little friend inside. So I guess Monet got her husband to get Tasha what she needed in jail. And now she gonna have her little friend in jail to keep her safe or whatever, I guess, while she's in jail. And then we see Kane driving by home. He saw the police man, the one who Monet was in the bed with earlier in the episode. He saw him getting out the car with like an envelope or whatever and something else in his hand. So he didn't stop by home. He just kept driving. So I don't know if Kane know what's going on between his mama and this man, but I don't know. He probably gonna find out soon. So he come in there with the papers, and it's the snitch papers. She was like, well, what I need with these? And he was like, well, Uncle Frank has been missing since the other day or something, since yesterday or something. She was like, what they got to do with me? And he was like, if he snitched, it could have been on anybody. That could be going on anybody, which is kind of true. And then she was like, that what you came here to bring me some papers I don't need for something that's already done already happened? She was like, I can't believe you let a snitch in my house. And then he bought like a wine or whatever. She was like, this not going to help either. And then she was like, he was like, well, what can I do to make it up? What can I do to make it up to you? And he was like, I want you to find out everything you can about a kid named Tariq St. Patrick. And then it goes off. My thing is, I don't like Monet involving her kids and all this stuff. Because one thing about Ghost and Count Tasha, they don't want their kids involved in none of this stuff. Like, Monet, she don't have a problem with her kids, like Kane going around here just killing people for no reason. Well, the uncle, if he was a snitch or whatever. But just killing people, or them just like getting involved in stuff. Making her daughter go after people. You know how she's talking about some just go after the uncle. But she probably sent him over there after Tariq too. But Ghost and Tasha kept their kids out of that mess. They tried their best to keep Tariq out of that, but he wanted to live the street life so bad when he was hanging with Kanan, aka 50 Cent. And he despised his dad so bad for being in the streets, but then he ended up going to the streets. So, I don't know. But I just don't like, if you're going to be a criminal, don't involve your kids in this mess. This is like when people stealing stuff and they have their kids walking out with the stuff too. Don't do that. But, those are my opinions. And that's my review on Power Book 2 Ghost, Exceeding Expectations. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you like this video, leave a comment down below. If you like the the episode. All my social media is down below if you want to follow me on those. Cash App, $ MissDanniG. If you want to donate to my birthday fund, today's my birthday. AffordableMinkLashes.com is my Mink Eyelash website. Use the code YouTube for a discount. Free shipping when you order over $30. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thumbs up this video. Share this video. Like this video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll be back next week for episode 3.